Hey foodies, and welcome back to Cooking with Kiana. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a whole roasted chicken. We're going to break this down into a couple of steps. I'm going to be showing you how to get that chicken nice and juicy, how to make that skin super crispy on the outside. And of course, it's going to be super flavorful, and it's not going to take as long as it usually takes to cook a whole chicken. If you guys are interested in this recipe, keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to hit that notification bell below so you can become a part of the foodie family and you don't miss new recipes. Now let's get started. So for this recipe, I'm going to be using 1/4 of a cup of olive oil, 3 sprigs of thyme. I just went ahead and removed it from that stem and chopped that up into finer pieces. And I'm also going to be using 3 sprigs of rosemary, and I just went ahead and did the same thing to that. And for seasoning, I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of herbs de Provence, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of Lawrys seasoning, 2 tablespoons of Old Bay seasoning, and 1 tablespoon of Bell's all natural seasoning, and 3 teaspoons of adobo seasoning. I'm also going to be using 1/4 of a cup of red cooking wine for that pan sauce, 4 cloves of fresh garlic chopped finely, 1 large onion. Of course, you want to make sure you chop that up as well. And then I have about 4 sprigs of thyme and 4 sprigs of rosemary. You want to make sure you leave these whole. So this is the chicken that I'm going to be using today. She is about 7 pounds. Of course, you want to make sure you wash off your chicken first, get out all those giblets and stuff. So now that I've already done that, I'm going to go ahead and flip that over. And what you're going to do is just cut right along that tailbone. And you're just going to cut all the way up about halfway on both sides. You want to make sure you take your time. As you can see, we have cut that out about halfway. You just want to go ahead and flip that over. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side until we completely cut that piece out. And I know this whole process might seem extra, it might seem like a hassle to some people, but I'm telling you, it makes a big difference. It cuts down on that cook time, and it makes it so much more easier to season up your chicken. So now that we've cut that piece out, you want to go ahead and put that in a Ziploc bag and put that in the freezer. You can use this for chicken stock, gravy, or even soups. Okay, so the next step is to cut through that cartilage on the breastbone so it can open up like so, and it can lay flat when we flip it over. Because you have done that, our chicken is going to lay nice and flat, and it's going to have a flat surface all throughout, meaning even cook time. It's also going to help ensure that that skin is nice and crispy all throughout. So if you're looking for a crispy roasted chicken, this is the perfect recipe for you. Okay, so now we're going to take that 1/4 cup of olive oil, and we're going to add in that chopped rosemary and thyme, and just go ahead and give that a good stir. Now, once everything is well combined, we are going to move over to our seasonings, and we're going to give that a good stir as well. Make sure everything's all mixed together. And now it is time to season our chicken. So I'm going to start off by drizzling half of the olive oil over the front of the chicken, and then I'm going to drizzle the other half on the other side. Now just go ahead and massage that olive oil into that chicken. Make sure you get inside of those pockets, get under that skin, make sure you get under the thighs, the breasts. Just make sure you get that oil everywhere. Remember, this is a big bird, so you want to make sure you get into all those creases and crevices. You just want that oil to get everywhere, because what that's going to do is that's going to make all of that seasoning adhere to it. Okay, so now we can go ahead and flip that over, and we're just going to repeat that same process. We're just going to add in the remaining of that oil, and we're just going to go ahead and massage that in. If you guys are enjoying this recipe so far, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below. That way YouTube can start recommending my recipes to more people, and I can put out more recipes. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and add in that seasoning. We're only going to add in about half of it because we're going to season one side, and then we're going to flip that over and season the other side. So of course you're going to go in with your hands. Make sure you really massage that seasoning in. And of course, if you're using a smaller chicken, you're not going to use as much seasoning. But since this is a 7-pounder, we are going to be adding a generous amount. So just make sure you really rub that in. Make sure you get in all those creases and crevices. It is very important because what you can't get from the front, you can get from the back. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and flip that over. And we're going to add that seasoning to our other side. And I'm going to add the remainder of the leftover seasoning. Just go ahead and season that evenly throughout. And then, of course, we're going to go in with our hands like we did with the oil. Just make sure we rub it into the skin really well. Make sure we get up under that thigh as well. Get under that skin. Make sure you get under that breast as well. It is very important that you season under the skin, because if you just season on top of the skin, your chicken is not going to be seasoned. It's going to taste bland, and we don't want any bland food over here. All right, so now that we're done preparing our chicken, I'm going to go ahead and take a skillet, and we're going to heat that on a medium to high heat. And then I'm going to add in my chicken. Only gonna let this sear for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. We're just gonna go ahead and get a good sear on both sides. What that's gonna do is really lock in that flavor. And then once we remove it, we are going to have a whole bunch of flavor in the pan to make our gravy with. All right, so at this point, you want to make sure you turn your heat down to a medium low. We're going to add in 1/4 of a cup of that cooking wine, and we're just going to use that to scrape up all of that fond. As we know, fond is flavor. You don't want to get rid of that. Next, I'm going to add in the chopped onions as well as the 4 cloves of garlic. Now just go ahead and give that a good stir until that is well combined. And lastly, we're going to add in some fresh herbs. So I'm going to go in with the fresh thyme and the fresh rosemary. Now we're just going to go ahead and add back in our chicken. Make sure you tuck under those wings so they do not burn. And then we're going to go ahead and place this in the oven on 350 for an hour and 15 minutes. Making sure you baste it with that garlic herb wine sauce every 20 minutes just to help ensure that you lock in all of that flavor and moisture. I'm telling y'all, don't be lazy and skip this step. It really makes such a big difference, especially because we put so much different garlic flavors and herbs and wine. You want to make sure you really infuse that into your chicken. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and pop that back in the oven. And then after 20 minutes, we're going to go ahead and baste that again. As you can see, it is starting to get more color, but it's not quite there yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this back in the oven, but this time I'm going to put it on broil on the high setting for about 1 to 3 minutes. Just make sure you watch this so it does not burn too much. All right, so now that our chicken is all done, we're just going to go ahead and baste it one more time. And then we're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes before cutting into it, because you do not want all those juices to run out of your chicken. I hope you guys enjoyed this easy step-by-step roasted chicken recipe. If you did, the full recipe will be listed in the description box below, so you guys can make this at home. Remember, you can make the same recipe with a turkey. I know Thanksgiving is not here, but it will be here soon, so you can use this exact recipe for that. It's much easier, and you won't have to worry about your chicken or even your turkey being dry. Just look at how juicy that chicken is. I don't know about you guys, but to me, the thigh is my favorite part of the chicken. Oh, comment below letting me know what is your favorite piece of the chicken. But I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of that white meat for all of y'all white meat lovers too. As you guys can see, that white meat is very juicy, and we all know white meat is dry. So when it's juicy, you know you're doing something right. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next recipe.